The classes will be in the system from ClassLink. So they'll be all named ClassLink classes across the board. And those will be with the naming conventions that ClassLink brings over into the system. If teachers prefer to rename those classes to make it easier for them on their dashboard, maybe lining them up first period, second, third, fourth, they can do so with this little rename class button here at the bottom of the tile. If they do change that name, it does not affect your syncing processes, and it will stay that way until the teacher decides to rename it to a different one, or the next year when new classes are brought into the system. The other option for classes is pinning classes to the top. Those would be ones that maybe are used more frequently. If there's, various reasons that they have more classes than they need, they can hide any extra classes too to clean up their dashboard. The little settings icon here, this is just going to let you know that you can't do any modifications because these are set from the system being brought in from the ClassLink, which is from your student information system. However, teachers can add a co-teacher to a synced class. That might be if you have in-house subs, for example, you have someone that's next to me, I have to go to a meeting, someone comes in and watches my class. I could actually add that person as a co-teacher for that time period. Because it's a synced class, the source of truth is going to be the nightly sync. The next day, that teacher would no longer be in the class. So just take a note to that anything that you add, of course, would change. Over to the very right, there's a combine classes button. This would be to combine any of the classes on your dashboard together. You can have up to 25 classes combined. I'm not sure if there's any teacher that would want to have all 25 classes in one room, but you can definitely take 2 classes or 3 classes that you might need to combine for various reasons. There's some districts that split up their rosters in a very unique way, and they have to put them together on the dashboard so that teachers see all the students in one class. All of your pre-configured classes, those ClassLink classes, would be listed, and you would just check the ones that you want to combine, hit next, name the class, and combine them together. And they'll stay that way until you separate them or until the teacher separates them. Again, sync will happen, new students will come in, students will be removed as needed, but those classes will stay combined until the teacher says, I'm ready to separate those apart. Now the teacher will go into the class in order to start the class. So to do that, you just select the tile that you want to start, and the Start Class button will always be up here on the left. It forces the teacher to do an end of the class time. This is important because we don't want a teacher to just start it and never stop it, because they're only going to have the kids for that certain period of time. This is a way for teachers to put an accurate end time in, knowing that class is ending at a certain time, just putting that in and clicking start. Now they don't need to worry about ending it. You see there is an end class button. If I did want to end it early, maybe they stopped using their devices, whatever the reason. If they're using their devices, I would never end it. One of the main reasons you want Classwize to be running during class period is obviously for classroom management, but the second thing is it's collecting screenshots in case I needed to go back and look for some data on a student and where they've been throughout the class period. So we want to make sure that that session's running. If a teacher needs to extend time, they can totally do that as well by coming up and just putting an extra few minutes into the box. Okay, you can see the students are populating as they're getting connected to their devices. So Ralph is not connected to a device. I know this because it says waiting for student activity. So maybe Ralph is absent. Maybe he's just taking a longer time to get signed in. It always has that student at the very end. So even if Ralph's name starts with an A, but he's not here, it's going to always remain at the end. Give me 1 second here. You'll also see that pin at the top like we did for classes. You'll see it for students as well. If you pin a student to the first left, that's going to remain there until you end the pin. Those could be some of those students that you want to make sure are at the top of your dashboard to watch a little bit more frequently. It doesn't matter. It helps you then. It's going to be in the order of the beginning of the first name. So this is allowing teachers to put some of those students front and center, but really front and left.